Hi, this is Dave, and I'm here. I am in the garage. I'm here with my son at the bottom right there, and we're working on the engine today. And at least I am. He's keeping me company, which is nice. And at this point, I have already put the pistons in and the girdle and that kind of thing, the crank, and I replaced the main seals and the rod bearings. So and of course I lost that video. And by the way, the reason what happened there is I have these old cameras that that the largest SD card it can use is a 32 gig. So it's I guess these things are I don't know probably 15 years old or so, but they still work all right. I can't go any higher than 32 gig. But I forgot about that, and I put 128 gig in there, and it formatted. It looked okay. Everything seemed fine. I just hit record, and I did that for a while until it came to the time where I wanted to retrieve it, and of course there was nothing there. I couldn't retrieve anything. It looked like it was recording, but apparently it didn't. So anyway, this is what I have. Uh, so I put the girdle on, and this is me putting the Loctite 574. That's the same stuff that you would use on the girdle, at least around the oil channels, oil area there. And you're really supposed to do this before you torque down the girdle. I didn't, so hopefully this isn't going to leak on me. I did check those mating surfaces are very flat. I can't really, you can't really catch your finger or anything on it. So I'm gonna hope that's good. Um, and when I put this in, uh, eventually the mating surfaces to the bottom of the block also are pretty flat. So I'm hoping that's gonna work out. Um, so I'm using the oil drive gear just to put to kind of line everything up before I torque these things down. Also, here's something I ran into and didn't realize. So I've got actually a couple engines now, and this one is like a later version, which is I think it's an '86 block, and and I I have the bolt kits. Oh, bolt kits. They're not bolt kits. It's bolts I took off from my other engines, and I think I grabbed the one from a different engine. And the bolts are, I think there's a little difference between the older engines and the newer ones, and the lengths of those bolts. So I kind of figured that out here at some point, but then I went through and replaced what I could. I also did I picked up some bolts from online, so just in case I ran into anything, if I'm missing some bolts or something, I can have something I could to go to. Now there was a someone who was going through this, and a video I found, and I'll link that here somewhere, hopefully. And that was kind of helpful to watch him do it. So that's pretty much what I'm doing here, is kind of mimicking what he did in that video. So that was very helpful. And so here I've got this torque adapter, and torquing these things down. I can't remember the torques on these. I'm really just following um, what I found in the Haynes manual, those torque specs in there, and also from that video I just mentioned. Something I wish I did, if I could go back in time and tell myself to be more organized with your the nuts and bolts. What I did is I put things in baggies, Ziploc baggies, and then I wrote on them what they were, and I tried to put like old or new new uh, engine from try to differentiate between the engines I have, and but over time I did that with a Sharpie, and over time all that those Sharpie marks sort of wore off, and just because I wrote it directly onto the Ziploc bag, it was hard to see. So from now on out, I'm going to write it on a piece of paper and put it inside the bag. So that helps a lot more. So I did replace the oil drive gear. It was worn, and I put a new one in here. Obviously, you can hear I'm close to the tracks, but anyway. So when I put this gear in, so when I ordered the drive gear, I must have ordered two seals, and when I got them in here, I was like, well, I must have missed something. Must need two seals. So I put one on the inside and the outside of that gear, and I realized my mistake a little bit later on. But you only just need it on the outside, not the inside. Okay, nice train again. When you live next to the tracks, you don't really hear this. It's something that just you don't notice anymore. Of course, when you're watching a video, it stands out. Alright, so this is the next day. I realized, because I did some research on it, and I realized I messed up with that second seal. And this is me just digging it back out. And it actually took some time to get that thing out of there. It was a pain, but not that big a deal. It's just, No, get some eggs and bacon stuff. Well, there's my wife talking to me. Alright. No, that's it. If mom has bacon, and I told her here. It's hard to find. It's probably, it's a level feeder under. 16, 17, 18, and a level feeder under 40. 50. Throw it, inshallah. And also some orange pits. How many trains do you come by here? I never realized. Alright, so I'm putting a little RTV in the corners. It doesn't say anything to do this in the procedure that I could find, but Van Stevens did it. Stevens, whatever. He did it, so I'm like, oh, okay, I think I'll probably do it. It makes sense. I'll do it too. It can't hurt, right? That's my wife talking in the background. She's probably talking about dinner or something. But when I'm in the garage, if you also hear this music or something playing, I usually listen to a podcast or some kind of. I'm probably listening to Steely Dan at the moment. I think that's what it sounds like. But I listen to all kinds of genres, and I'm interested in all kinds of things. So no telling what I'll be listening to in the garage. But I do like having some noise or something going on, which means I really have a hard time recording because YouTube doesn't like you to record actual music. Exciting stuff, huh? Alright. Having a conversation with my wife, apparently, my son. Who knows? Alright, now the whole can goes on. And it's really pretty straightforward. I followed the directions with the torque pattern. I tried. So one thing, I think the first torque spec was really low, like 3 foot-pounds or something like that. It was kind of low, but my adapter doesn't go below 5, so I figured, all right, I just put it on the lowest setting and go from there. And that's what I did. And I went around it several times just for the first spec, and then I think the final spec is not even much higher. It's like 7. So I think it was like 3 and 7, but mine was 5 and 7, or I might even went to 8. I don't know. It wasn't. I didn't have a torque wrench that went that low, I guess. But I think it did all right. It followed the torque procedure and the pattern rather. And now right under that little spot right there, I don't know how you're supposed to get it wrenched under there for a torque setting. So I just kind of got a regular wrench and sort of just felt it and figured it's probably good enough. I guess I could have sped this up a little bit more. That's not exactly the most exciting thing, but alright, whatever. Yep, it's. I like that torque adapter. It's an AC Delco torque adapter. It's a digital one, and I used it because I was questioning the torque wrenches I got from Harbor Freight, the Pittsburgh ones, and I wasn't sure how close they were. So I got this thing, and I tested it in different torques against the Pittsburgh ones, and actually the Pittsburgh ones were pretty much right on. I thought they weren't as accurate, but turns out they are. At least they were for me. I don't know how consistent they are amongst their tools, but the ones I got were right on. Alright, so now that I have the oil pan on, it's all torqued down and everything's good there. I'm probably going to spin it over a little bit, make sure everything's still moving like it should, and thus ends another very exciting video. If you made it this far, you deserve, gold star or something. I don't know, but hopefully the next one will be slightly less boring. I don't know. So anyway, appreciate you watching. Appreciate your interest, and I'll keep putting these out as I can. Okay, I'm behind on them as it is, but I'll try and be a little better about them. All right, thanks a lot, and have a good day.